Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, IHSAA supporters. Good afternoon would be the apt way to say that today. I'm Ben Brackett, here with my co-host and good buddy Blake Sievers, but we've even got the Titan Tactician with us today, don't we?
We do.
Yeah, so we're here at the state tournament, coming at you live from somewhere in between fields 7, 8, and 9. Getting ready to take in 3A action.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a year, and it's cool pulling in as there's one lane of traffic in, and you see all the waiting lines, see all the cars trying to find a parking spot. You see before and after, and you see whole communities come out.
Yeah, so we just got done watching the 2A round. Coming in from all over the place. Bondurant took on Sergeant Bluff Loughton, which I believe is near Council Bluffs. And the Bondurant for our Blue Jays were out in full force.
Yeah, that field, maybe we'll get into it here shortly, but that field was completely, not completely, 3 of the 4 sides, though, were completely surrounded by people watching, which is awesome.
Yeah, so why don't let's just run through the 1A and 2A scores and kind of give you guys all that update quick.
Yeah, so 1A and 2A. Game 4-1 winners over Columbus Catholic. Regina Catholic out of East Side again, 3-0 over Greene County. The 3 seed West Liberty, 2-1 over Council Bluffs St. Albert. And then Western Christian Hull, 2-0 over North Fayette Valley. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 moving on to the semifinals in 1A.
Yeah, that's great. That'll be interesting to see how those all shake out.
That's chalk means according to seed. It's for people that NCAA tournament, they just pick the 1 seed all the way. Probably, yeah.
So we'll see if that trend continues. The 2A trend, that was not the case, was it?
No. So Xavier, traditional powerhouse there in the 1A, won 1-0 over Marion. And I think they beat them 4-1 earlier this year. So Marion stepped up a little bit there. And then first upset of the day, you had the game we were watching a lot of was Adel DeSoto Minburn over 2-1 over Pella. And again, that was a rematch from earlier this year. And Pella actually beat ADM. So ADM came back and knocked them off when it counted.
Yeah, it looked like that was like the second game we were watching the closest. But some goalkeeper errors kind of led to that 2-1 result on both ends of the field. So it'll be interesting to see how those guys do on Thursday.
Yeah, and then kind of continuing down, you had Bondurant Scorar against Sergeant Bluff out of Bluff, I believe, as well. And pretty interesting that it was 1-0. The Jays were down. One of their better players, I thought, actually was out as well. Got a severe concussion. Then came back and smashed there 4-1. So the halftime talk by Matt Cox must have
fired the boys up.
Yeah, hairdryer treatment, you think, maybe?
Maybe. We were trying to get an interview with him, and we had to wait.
Well, Alex Francisco.
That fourth field over there.
Yeah, so it was actually a barn burner. DCG, the number 2 seed, held on 1-0 over Waverly Shell Rock, but kind of a cool atmosphere, right? And all the other games right next to them got done. It was 1-0, so people kind of started flocking over to watch. The crowd was obviously into it being 1-0, so good, cool atmosphere.
Yeah, right on. So we'll now chat a little bit about 3A stuff, on your alert preview. And then we'll come back to you here in a little bit as well with some updates on that. But let's just start and talk about those 3A matchups. This is where we'll bring in the Titan Tacticians. We've seen a lot of these teams play right now.
Well, yeah, I've seen at least the Central Iowa teams play. And so I guess that's one of the things I'm looking forward to tonight and this weekend is seeing some of these eastern side of the east side teams play. Obviously, because we live in Des Moines, we just don't get out there very often. But of course, in the 3A seedings, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 teams from the east side and then 2 seedings from the west side. So it's going to be a brand new look for at least for me and for us to see some of these teams play. I also think it's interesting just because for the Central Iowa teams, and we've seen Valley play, we've seen Johnson play. So, like for example, Johnson's in a bracket of, I call it a 4, the lower end of the bracket, where they're only going to play East Side teams until and if they get to the final. So in that regard, I don't know if they've played East Side teams yet in the season, but it's almost like a brand new season because you haven't seen the competition that is if they haven't played it yet.
Yeah, I mean, they've only played Kennedy and Lindmar. That they handed both those teams pretty easily, 5-0 and 3-2.
Right, so that's an interesting matchup. Then we got Valley Centennial behind us here. Obviously, they know each other pretty well. I'm assuming they played each other this season.
Yeah, Valley won 4-2.
Okay, but then whoever wins that game is going to play an East Side team or a West side of the state team. So again, it'll be interesting to see who kind of pulls out of these brackets and whether or not we've got a mixture of representatives, I guess, across the state here in the final.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Blake, do you want to just run through all the matchups here for us?
Yeah, so the stadium field, I don't know if you can overhear it a little bit, but we've got Iowa City West taking on Sioux City West. Then right behind us on field 8, you got Valley Centennial in the 4-5 match. And then Cedar Rapids Prairie, coached by our good friend Kurt Lewis with the Soccer Coaches Association. The 3 seed taking on Pleasant Valley. And then, like we just briefly discussed, Johnston against Cedar Falls being the 7 seed. Going down there.
I think the leading scorer in all 3A teams is Unruh. He's got 34 goals. He's one ahead of Jaranovia. He's going up against Johnson tonight. It'll be interesting to see if Johnson can hold him some points.
We had I don't know, I guess it's probably a parent ultimately, but a little birdie came by and told us that the Cedar Falls squad has been playing some 1 and 2A teams, and so the gripe was that all those goals must have come in lesser competition. But I think that anything happens at the state tournament, so we'll have to see. And then they've also got a pretty big score, Johnston and Wilmot Mane, kind of scores in buckets, a lot of pace up top, and Johnston loves to play direct, so I would guess that game is going to see some goals.
Yeah, I think the sports bettors we have an official, but I think it's like 3.5.
Well, if you look at your program, Steve, I'm on page 11 here. Obviously, they've got all the Class 3A leaders here. Noticeably missing here from the event this weekend is Waukee. Because if you just go down the scoring leaders, the assist leaders, and the minutes leaders, Waukee is all over the list. It's really dominated, in my opinion.
Well, it's really almost the biggest story of the state tournament is that Waukee, after going 46 games unbeaten, was knocked off by now what we're calling the number 5 seed in Centennial. They held into a 1-1 draw and lasted through overtime and hung on through penalties. So let's talk a little bit quick about this Centennial Valley matchup a little bit more. I think a storyline that can't be missed is that you've got Aziz Farr in, I gotta believe it's like his 30th season at the helm of the Valley Tigers. I think he's told us this, but I probably wasn't listening. And as a Valley alum, I'm very curious to see how his former player Brian Duax does going up against his former coach, because Aziz has been at Valley since the 90s when
31st season.
Oh, yeah, I'm right on.
530 for wins. I like that.
Brian Duax, though, was a part of Aziz's national championship team there in 1996. So just some interesting history there. And we've also got Brian's son, Ty, lining up for his squad, which, just another little story.
Yeah, and add to that, it's your alma mater, Ben. So
yeah, let's go Tigers.
There you go.
Maybe a little bit. What's your expectation? Are you going to be disappointed if Cincinnati knocks them off?
Of course, I'm going to be disappointed, but I've only got to see Valley play this once. I always support the Tigers because I bleed orange and black, but I just got looked at for saying that. But yeah, I think Centennials, I thought they were pretty good actually when I've seen them play. And we know they're going to have a game plan because we've got the evil genius, Daryl Brazo there, who's probably been splicing up film and coming up with some sort of method to beat Valley and kind of negate their attack, which is known for speed and lots of goals. Anything else on that, guys?
No, I love it. I mean, there's people chatting all around, shouting. I don't know if they're shouting at us or whatnot. It's cool.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. I mean, there's no better day, in my opinion, than the first day of the state tournament when you've got 8 teams in each division playing, because you bring the whole community out here to County. You know, I just kind of think of, in the last year, we've watched a bunch of these soccer games in big stadiums when sort of things started back up after COVID, and we see these empty stadiums with people just sort of interspersed around the stadium. It looks empty. It's kind of depressing. You come out here to County this weekend, you just have it. You have all the atmosphere that you can sort of handle here, because, like Blake said, we've got people just lined up on 3 or 4 run lines, and so it just feels like you're inside your own little stadium. So the atmosphere is great. For basketball fans out there, NCAA basketball fans, it just feels like that first Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, there's a nice little buzz.
And look at all the colleges out here. I mean, we've seen Dubuque, Wartburg, Central.
Don't forget St. Cloud.
St. Cloud's over here. Simpson's over there.
Buena Vista.
Yeah.
We know Western Illinois is in the house. So, you definitely got people here to recruit. Coaches here to recruit. And
I think Gareth and Kyle are hiding somewhere, so they'll make it.
Drake, where you at?
Well, and the thing that
I don't see any Drake recruits either, like coming in for next season, is there?
I don't know if that's
Come on, boys, get out here so you can see the talent.
No, and I guess the other thing that's so fun about this is it's just kind of like a little bit of a reunion. So you've got from all sorts of different programs. I've seen a couple kids I used to coach. They're just out, but they're not even here to see their team. They're just here to hang out. So for me, it's good. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it up now. We're going to just be going live a couple different times here today with some different interviews. So stay tuned. Just on the park off here for Valley Centennial. Leave us with their tactician. Okay, stay tuned.